Last time we decided to save ourselves. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can activate to make that work. You'd think they just designed a series of buttons randomly hidden behind inanimate and indestructible objects, like all other game developers do. But no, that would be stupid. Anyways, last time we decided to save Ethan, so let's get him out of here before he eats his fill of blaster fire.
If I'm dead, please tell me so I don't have to keep going.
You're alive, I'm alive.
We're in the middle of nowhere, and I can't walk real good right now.
So sit there and rest while I look around.
Oh, man. You've got to get out of here! My leg is still busted up. We're gonna need some wheels if we want to get to Bar Han within the year.
I think I see a port station over there. You wait here. I'm going to requisition something.
Well, we've lost our fiancé and probably our license, but today couldn't get much worse, could it? Oh, right. It's kind of cool that Seeker Destroyer floating up in the air is actually a physical object. You can shoot it and everything, and it moves slowly across the map. Back in 2005, that was kind of a big deal, but it was quickly overshadowed by everything that came after it, every game that came after it. Anyway, this chapter is probably the most affected by cut content because so much that the developers aimed to do with this chapter depended on vehicles that ended up not making the final cut. There's still a couple in this section, we'll be seeing them, but first we have two new weapons to cover. First is the Seeker Fury. It's basically the Seeker form of the Talmadge. It's a rocket launcher. It doesn't do much now, but as we level it up, it will become more interesting. The other weapon is the Seeker Stalker. It's the game's sniper rifle. Something that's kind of interesting about it is that its alternate fire is not like an energy burst or something. It's actually the rifle's scope. And as you level the Stalker up, your magnification for the scope improves. It's kind of interesting, but it's also a little disappointing they didn't put any more thought into that. It's one of the more powerful weapons in the game, but it only fires in one-shot bursts, and it's pretty slow to fire to start with. But anyways, back to vehicles that were cut. This next section in particular was pretty badly affected by what they ended up cutting. You were supposed to have the option of driving this big vehicle with a bunch of other Marines, and you were being chased by the Seekers. That ended up not making it in because they cut both the big vehicles and the vehicles that the Seekers were going to chase you in. But up here is one of the vehicles that survived, the human turret. Now, I think this is largely intended to be an anti-air vehicle, but you end up using it on almost nothing but ground units. And it's pretty frustrating with ground units because they bounce back and don't die in one hit from the shot. So you basically have enemies getting up over and over again. But we have another vehicle over here, one of my favorites, the Scythe. It's a Hummer type vehicle. It's got a turret on top and passenger seat in the back. It's going to load up on Talmadges, not that on the it, because I'll take them away in the next section.
Hope Ethan finds this one acceptable.
It's one of the most fun vehicles in the game because the boosters on the back allow you to pretty much at any time summon a burst of speed. You can jump off of ramps and boost a lot and run down enemies. Here I ran into a glitch where the physics were sped up for some reason. This vehicle also has hydraulics, so you can hit spacebar to jump, and then you can jump off a ramp and rocket till your heart's content. Destroyer is finally opening fire on us, so let's get out of here. For the longest time, I thought the scythe was invincible until I tested it and took like half a minute of direct, constant fire from this destroyer.
You two were the only ones on that pod?
Yes, sir. We were with Ambassador Landwell.
You two were the pilots. Ethan and Gideon Wyatt?
Yeah.
That definitely takes precedence over my mission. Get these toys turned around! We're getting these two heroes on board!
Ethan needs medical attention.
I'm fine.
As you can see, he's delirious.
Alright, get the casualty into that scythe and get him to the medic at the base.
I'm not gonna go to some med center while Gideon gets all the glory.
Nobody in government wants you to bleed all over their fancy office carpet. Now shut up and get some treatment so you're actually good for something when it's time to fight again.
Well, when you explain it calmly and reasonably.
So we're finally in Barhan, and this section also had some content cut. You're supposed to be driven around in this section, I believe, by a Marine by the name of Truelock. He had a dopey British accent. You can find a lot in the audio files of this game. And he and Gideon have a lot of conversations that just do not exist anymore in the final product. Anyways, I really like this section. The skybox and the lighting here is just fantastic. Sometimes this game can look pretty good. The character models are usually a little rough and unpolished looking, but the environments are really good. You gotta give them some credit for that. The game took my challenges that I picked up 2 maps ago, so you had to fight these guys completely barehanded or pick up one of the weapons they drop. Enough of that, let's just get on to the next section. So this here is one of the most broken parts of the game, I think. When we come out, you'll see that the place is pretty much a wasteland at this point. Barhan is practically destroyed, and because of that, there's some serious collision field issues, like beams jutting everywhere. It's a gigantic problem. And on top of that, this is probably, honestly, one of the hardest sections in the game. It's not because, there's an enemy, big tough enemy or a boss or anything like that. It's just that the enemies respawn nigh constantly. It's not an endless stream, but it seems endless if you really play this game. On top of that, there are tons of Seeker Wolves, and your only option for weaponry is the normal Seeker Infantry, and they don't drop that much. And your health does not recharge very fast or very far, and there's no med stations. So a lot of this is kind of a race. This section right here basically requires that you move through fast enough that your health is not drained down too badly, because you will get swarmed if you're too slow. It's really only that bad on the higher difficulties though. I gotta say that the cutscenes do a much better job of establishing the atmosphere in this game than the normal gameplay, because the gameplay is pretty subdued and there's not a whole lot going on. But during the cutscenes, there's pretty much pure havoc all over the place, and I don't understand why they decided to cut some cutscenes from the PC version, because they help set the tone a lot. Most of the cutscenes you've seen in this episode I ripped directly from the Xbox version because I feel they belong in this game. At this section there's supposed to be a bunch of Marines around defending the elevator on top of these pedestals with human turrets on top. But for some reason there aren't any, and I don't get why. There's conversations and dialogue in the game referring to Marines at this elevator defending it, but you end up completely alone at this point. And I just don't get how it was so hard to drop some Marines in or something. Anyways, that's going to be the end of this chapter. It was a very short chapter. Next time we'll go to Upper Barhan, the upper platforms. See you then.